Hello, CNG 132 students. Welcome. Today is Friday. I think it's Friday evening, 5/11. So a few things. Once again, make sure you get those discussion posts in. I know I'm a little bit late. I thought I was going to do a midweek kickoff, but I was trying to prepare for this vacation. So a few things going into this weekend. Make sure that your discussions are getting in. You are actually responding to those discussions. At least 2 discussions. It's not too difficult, but sometimes there's some issues responding. Make sure you get those in. The thing behind the discussions was that there used to be papers written that were specifically to me. We replied to those case discussions, and as a class, I think I was the only one reading them. So it got kind of interesting. I'd see some really good conversation or some really good papers turned in, and I was the only one reading them. So instead of me being not able to share all that all the time, I thought a great way to incorporate this class would be to do the case discussion itself, and you're getting a piece of homework out of the way while others are able to actually see what is going on with that. So as we see here, everyone's kind of chiming in. Great. Make sure you get those initial posts, the initial case that you post. So you should have one initial case that's posted, and then 2 follow-up to 2 responses. And that should be done by Wednesday. I know weeks 1 and 2 we're still trying to figure each other out and what's going on with the class, but usually, I should say by Wednesday, to get full points for the discussions, make sure you're posting that discussion before 11:59 Wednesdays, and then make sure you respond at least twice to somebody else's train of thought, and say, hey, you know what, this is kind of cool. I'm glad you brought that up. Usually, we only get the chance in our lives to look at a topic one way, unless we have a discussion about it and able to bring in other people to look at our topic and, hey, that's, get their input and say, hey, this is the way I see it. From our introductions, we have a lot of different backgrounds, and just to have people chime in on the same topic brings a lot of insight to how we can look at the topic differently. Let's see, with the content. I think this week we talked about social engineering. Yeah, we talked about social engineering, who can carry out an attack. Probably my most favorite thing about Security Plus is social engineering, just how easy it's done. You're actually quite surprised. Our sales in America are set up to be social engineering people all the time. That's what we get asked for. Upgrades, if we want to supersize stuff, if we want fries, what else? When you're checking out, if you want to buy, donate $5. No, it's still kind of social engineering, even though it's for a good cause. It is still social engineering. Another student brought up in class that social engineering, it doesn't have to be about just getting money. It could just be about getting information. And yeah, that's what social engineering is all about, is trying to get something from you. As extra credit going into this weekend, and also for the next week or week and a half or so, why don't you try to see how easy it is to social engineer somebody. Think of maybe 3 security questions that you see in your stuff. Write them down and try to get someone to answer those questions. I'm not saying just someone you know, but definitely try to get a random person to answer those questions and see if they do. Chances are, a lot of times, just because we're human and social beings, people answer these questions pretty freely without thinking, what exactly they're giving away. When you have a dog, and when maybe a security question is, what's your favorite dog, or what was your first dog's name? simply going up to somebody that has a dog. You don't necessarily have to have a dog, but you can definitely come from this angle and say, hey, look, this is a great dog. I used to have one of these growing up as a kid. And then simply flip that question onto them and say, have you always owned this dog, or was this your first dog breed that you owned? Chances are that you're going to turn around and answer this question pretty freely, and spit it right back to you and say, hey, my first dog was this. Bam. And that's an answer. That could be an answer to a security question. And if we're doing any sort of like intel or attack, maybe we specifically know that Wells Fargo has X amount of questions for their accounts, and we're just setting up 15 questions to get these 15 separate answers, just so we're ready to launch this attack. And once again, doing this extra credit, don't write it down. In our discussions, probably in week 3, start bringing that up and be like, yeah, I'm going to carry out the social engineering for extra credit. This is what I did, and they gave me all the information to my 3 questions, to my 5 questions. I know a student one time was able to talk to a cashier lady for quite a while, and he was the amount of information he got when he came to class said it was truly scary, because she had no idea. She just kept on talking and giving up this stuff. And you see, social engineering is an easy thing to do, and like I said, it's my favorite thing to do, or a favorite thing to even look on, evaluate, assess. What is this person trying to do, and should I pay attention for it? So once again, going to this weekend, week 2, once again, very laid back. We're just trying to get a hang of this class and what's going on. Make sure you follow with the discussions. Go to discussions and discuss the case. This one is listed correct, 2 to 3E. Make sure you go to the assignments. Each week we have labs. This week we have a practice lab also thrown in there. With the project, when going through the project for this weekend, with Thumbscrew, if it doesn't work, definitely open up the web page that you got Thumbscrew from, and kind of glance around. Look at maybe made 2 statements. Maybe look at that first statement he made and see what's going on with Thumbscrew. It's a free software, so would we really want to do security off of freeware? And also, everyone should now have on the Hub accounts. I simply Google Front Range on the Hub. It brings up Front Range Community College academic software discounts. I click it, and I'm sorry, I have internet, but it's really slow at this hotel. Although it does say high speed, it's not really that high speed-ish. I should be able to. Oh, excuse me. After it's done loading, I should be able to click sign in. I will use my student email. Oops. I don't know what happened there. So your student email should be in the format first name, last name, maybe a number or 2, depending on the popularity of that makeup combination, at student.cccs.edu. Password, I have no idea. Maybe it's that one. And we go through passwords a little bit later in the course. Sure, I'll say that, although I shouldn't, and we'll also go through that a little bit later in the course. So once I'm logged in, it's going to say hello and my name. Go to VMware. You can get the VM workstation. If you're on a Mac, you want Fusion. So make sure you pick the corresponding virtualization software. Download it, install it, then go to Microsoft Imagine. You can pick up a Windows 10 key, and this is Windows 10 Educational, so it is like an ultimate version of Windows, and it'll work for our course. So you're able to do the homework in a virtual environment. Once again, click it, download it. This is free. You have access to everything on here, so don't hesitate to download it. Project, I used Visual Studio 2017, I believe, is on here. SharePoint. I did Project, Microsoft Project, yeah, 2016, Visio. Both are things I used and got them for free through this. Handy items. Make sure you take advantage of this. Once again, this is for the student themselves. If you have any questions on how to access this, go to the content. I do have PDFs within this. Simply by clicking the content, go down to DreamSpark. I have 3 files in there. I think this might be a bear this weekend, but I'll still be in there hanging in. Detailed DreamSpark, the download instructions, the attachment, and working with image files. So if you need any help, look at those. Once again, this week, make sure to do the quiz. I did put in a request. I saw the grade book that the grades weren't being, oops, no, don't go there. The grades weren't transferring over, but that is in, and I am working on that. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me. Once again, click in the message alerts, choosing the left or right one. We're simply going to the front range. I don't have it in the background, but the front range main page, and using that email there. Once again, I will answer the best I can this weekend, but I do realize that I am on vacation. So if I'm just a little bit late, I do sincerely apologize. But besides that, I'll check in Sunday, and hopefully we'll get a lot more homeworks in and more discussions started. But once again, keep in contact. If something happens, make sure you let me know, and I'll see you guys Sunday.